January 2025 is finally here and promises a range of noteworthy titles for players to sink their teeth into. High-profile ports of console exclusives, long-awaited follow-ups to established franchises, both indie and big budget. They're all here. It wouldn't be a new year without some new early access titles, however, and the biggest in that department is undoubtedly Assetto Corsa EVO. As the newest title in Kunos Simulazioni's series, it's a racing simulation focused on realism. Launching on January 16th for PC, it arrives almost 5 years after its Assetto Corsa Competizione. A lot has changed in the interim, and this may very well be the series' most ambitious outing yet. So here are 15 things you should know about Assetto Corsa EVO before launch. Early Access Release. Like its predecessors, Assetto Corsa EVO will first enter early access, offering a portion of the finished product before the final release. The latter is planned for fall 2025, which is always subject to change, and thus far the developer hasn't confirmed if there will be any monthly update cycles like Competizione. However, it said that player feedback will, quote, be crucial in refining the gameplay, optimizing performance, and adding the final touches that will make EVO the ultimate racing simulation. New DirectX 12 based engine. Perhaps the most notable change with EVO is under the hood, specifically the DirectX 12 powered Kunos engine. Promising realistic skies, volumetric clouds and fog, dynamic global illumination, and reflections. There are notable leaps, especially with how it handles the effects of weather on track conditions. Practice sessions and quick race modes. As the first part of the single-player component, EVO features two familiar modes, practice sessions and quick race. Kunos didn't go into extensive details about what's new for either, but their names probably shouldn't betray any expectations. The former is for practicing different vehicles, the latter is for instant races. You can't get any more straightforward than that. Driving Academy. It's the Driving Academy where things get interesting. Debuting in EVO, it offers, quote, step-by-step sections of each track in the current release, where you'll drive different cars and experience unique challenges. Succeed and you'll earn the licenses required for your dream car, with credits used to purchase them. If it's anything like the license mode from the Gran Turismo series, Driving Academy should serve as a challenging yet fun opportunity for simulation enthusiasts. Cars and brands. Assetto Corsa EVO will feature 20 cars when early access launches, with the full game planned to feature over 100. Thus far, we've seen the BMW M2 CS Racing, the Mercedes-AMG GT63, and the Ford Escort Cosworth RS, with newcomer brands like Maserati and Cadillac, though the full lineup for early access has yet to be revealed. Realistically depicting vehicles and tracks. As for how realistic everything will look, from the vehicles to the tracks, the developer says it employed an advanced system to simulate, quote, mechanical, electronic, and aerodynamic performance. Furthermore, laser scan technology has been used to capture the circuits and their fidelity, further increasing the immersion. Suspension improvements. Of course, that fidelity would mean nothing if the feeling of racing isn't right. Kunos has been working to improve the suspension, simulating systems like torsion beams and swing arms. Suspension dampening and bump stops are also more natural, while the tire model has been more realistically fine-tuned. The team has worked for 4 years to, quote, improve the feeling behind the steering wheel, and thus far, it seems to have borne fruit. Car customization. Customization is also important, and while the full suite of options for early access has yet to be detailed, game director David Brivio told multiplayer.it last November that, quote, all the configurations and engines that you would find in any dealership will be available for each vehicle. If your favorite car is sold both in petrol and diesel, for example, or in a version that has 17-inch wheels or a sunroof fitted, then it'll also be the case in our game. There will be a, quote, wide range of aesthetic modifications per the site, which can impact your performance. Dynamic weather and track conditions. Weather is always an important factor in racing sims, and in EVO, it's dynamic, with precipitation and other factors affecting races in real time. Not only will different levels of rainfall affect your performance, but you also have to worry about rubber buildup as a race progresses and adjust accordingly. Available circuits. The developer confirmed that Brands Hatch, Imola Circuit, Laguna Seca Raceway, Mount Panorama Circuit, and Suzuka International Racing Course will be available when early access launches. The full game will feature 15 tracks, but EVO's environmental selection is branching out into new directions this summer. Open world map in Eifel, Germany. In a series first, EVO will feature an open world map. Set in Germany's Eifel region, it'll feature local businesses, workshops with aftermarket parts to upgrade vehicles, and even car rental services. Though debuting in the summer, the map will roll out through numerous updates in early access. These will further expand the map while adding new content, and we're keen to see how it matches up to the likes of Forza Horizon in terms of structure and events. 24-hour race cycle. Players can also look forward to full 24-hour race cycles, thus pushing the limits of their racing endurance. Naturally, this means the return of Nürburgring Nordschleife, and we're keen to see how dynamic weather and track conditions will affect that experience. VR and triple screen support. Like the first game and Competizione, VR support returns with OpenXR, Oculus VR, and Steam VR support out the box. In true racing simulation fashion, there's also support for triple screen setups, ensuring even greater immersion, especially if you have a racing wheel setup. PC requirements. Regarding hardware requirements, Assetto Corsa EVO doesn't appear to demand much on PC, though it's a significant step up from Competizione. Its minimum requirements include an Intel Core i7-8700K or an AMD Ryzen 1500X, 16GB RAM, and a GeForce GTX 1070 or an AMD Radeon RX 580. The recommended requirements include a Core i5-10500 or an AMD Radeon 2600X, 16GB RAM, and an RTX 2070 or Radeon RX 5600. These seemingly apply to VR setups, though requirements could change through the early access period. You'll also need a solid-state drive with 100GB of installation space, which is already a lot without the open-world map. Free post-launch updates. While the full game plans to offer more than 100 cars and 15 tracks from around the world, that won't be the end of the support. The development team plans to add more post-launch and free updates. We're a long way off from more details, but it's nice to hear that support will continue beyond fall of 2025.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.